I thought she was 18. I'm just going to go 18 season. Should we trade up for Isaiah Simmons and give up our 2 first-round picks because the wide receiver class is pretty deep? I want Isaiah Simmons, and if there is one player that I'd be willing to potentially give up the 12 and the 19 for, it actually probably would be him. However, I still want to have as many, Vegas term, poker chips to Mychael and then play with. I have a lot of confidence that we can find late-round players, a lot that a lot of other teams can't. So I'm going to hang on to our 12. I will say this. I'd be more okay with the Raiders maybe trading back their 19 to maybe get another late round first and an early round second pick. But thought she was 18. Appreciate your comment. Love the picture. So what's the bigger need for the Raiders? Let me know in the comments section. Linebacker or wide receiver. We are live on YouTube and we are live on Facebook. This is the absolute season that you better have your notifications turned on and you better hit that subscribe button because this is the stuff that's going to be popping up all the time. So what's a bigger need now? Linebacker or wide receiver? I mean, it's a very good question. John Williams says linebacker. Calvin Nance, linebacker. I mean, I am seeing all linebackers. Then Lynn Moss. Shout out to Lynn. Appreciate you watching. Wide receiver. Chemo is still going to go with wide receiver. Alex just says, what's up, Raider Nation? It's what's going on, so we got to get that right. Cornerback, okay, that's thrown in there. A.J. Thomas, he's also going to go with linebacker. We got another super chat here rolling in. Remember, if you want to get on the show, use hashtag Raiders, or probably the easiest way is to super chat. It's the thing that looks like the dollar symbol that tells Dylan, hey, this guy deserves to be on the show. Are we going to pick up Littleton from the Rams? So Cory Littleton is a player that I like a lot, UDFA back in 2016, and he is my number 1 linebacking target. I will say this. Go back and look at what Mychael said the last 2 weeks, especially about linebackers. I think the most likely linebacker to be a Raider is actually Joe Schobert. If I were to put money down on all the top free agent linebackers to be in silver and black this upcoming season, I'm actually going to put my money on Joe Schobert because of the middle linebacking position that we desperately need. But don't be surprised if the Raiders go out and get a Joe Schobert, get a Kyle Van Noy, get a Joe Schobert, get a Cory Littleton. We have money. We have over $54 million in cap space. Now with cutting Whitehead, we have, watch this math, $60 million about. So that's top 10 in the NFL. We got a lot of draft picks. So, yeah, I think Littleton is definitely a player that we should consider. And you want to talk about another player that I think we could get? Cornerback Byron Jones. If I would put money on a player, it's Byron. Got another super chat rolling in here from my man Tedford. What's up, my dude? Mitchell Renz for play-by-play Raiders announcer, F. Musburger. See, here's the thing. As much as I would love to do play-by-play for the Raiders, I don't know if that's my best. What's my best thing? Doing this show. I love doing the Raiders Report. I love interacting with people. And if I'm doing play-by-play for the Raiders, I don't know if I can do the Raiders Report. So as much as I would love to, I will say this, though. If anybody wants me to come out in Vegas, if anybody wants to get down with me in Vegas for the draft, slide in my DMs at Mitchell Renz 365. We're having a party. And if you're a loyal watcher and you subscribe, you get the invite. Tedford, my man, I will say this. The amount of super chats you give me, I got the first 2 rounds for you. Let's go to, okay, die. All right. Since we cut Whitehead, do you think we will draft a linebacker? That one's for Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. I don't know if it's going to be in the first round. If it is a first-round linebacker, I think the most likely is Kenneth Murray or Patrick Queen. I think the linebacker, though, that I think has the best value, that I would put my money on, it's the why I had Raiders drafting him in my mock, it's Akeem Gaither, okay? Appalachian State. Die. Like the picture. Maybe you want to consider changing your name. So, yeah, here are my top 5 linebackers in the 2020 draft. Patrick Queen, Kenneth Murray, I think they're a little bit more realistic at 19. And then Akeem Davis Gaither, Malik Harrison, some other players. But I think Malik Harrison probably is going to go in the 2nd round. I see Akeem Davis Gaither, though, going in the 3rd round. Another super chat. Man, I love y'all. Remember, super chats, you're getting on the show. And subscribe to the channel because we're going live every time some shit gets a little bit crazy this year. Oh, I'm not supposed to swear. How much money will we have in free agency now? And with that money, should we go get Littleton and Schobert? It's a great question. I would say rewind 2 minutes ago. So right now we got about $60 million in terms of cap space. And yes, I do think that the Raiders should go out and get Littleton and Schobert. How about this? Who would you rather have? Type L for Littleton or type S for Schobert? We'll give some comments or some shout-outs while I answer my man Kevin Rogers. What up, Kev? Appreciate you tuning in. Did you see Morrow in the future? Do you see Morrow in the future? And will he start? At this point, yeah, I don't see the Raiders moving on from Nicholas Morrow. I mean, look at our linebacking depth chart. It's thin. And also you got to consider the fact that he's a pretty young player. He's kind of built his name here with the Raiders, and I don't think he's an outstanding linebacker. But when you consider that Will Compton, I don't expect him back. Vontaze Burfict, I don't expect him back. I mean, you got to kind of start thinking about, okay, we need bodies, and you want to have at least some linebackers that have some experience. And then you got to look at the guys in free agency. Where's their best value? Joe Schobert, slot him in there at middle linebacker. Cory Littleton, slot him in there at strong linebacker. So, how about this? Give me your one-word reaction to Tahir Whitehead getting cut. Your one-word reaction. Mine, expected. It's expected because you saved $6.25 million. He was going to make a little bit over $7 million. And I think what the Raiders want and what Mike Mayock has said in just the last week, 2 weeks, they want somebody that can cover. Unfortunately, Tahir Whitehead was a pretty good tackler. Unfortunately, he was unable to cover the running backs, tight ends, and in today's NFL, if you can't cover, that's when you're going to get passed on. So we'll give some shout-outs here, and then we'll answer some more questions. So make sure that you guys are using hashtag Raiders. Let's see. Deuces from Brock. Progress from Brian. I totally agree there. Finally from Mike. Good. 559 Raiders says, dude sucked. I don't know if he sucked. He just, it was definitely time to move on. Now people are saying Isaiah Simmons. That's 2 words, Daniel Herbert. Another super chat rolling in here from Sean Forbes. I've been told by the producers, if you guys keep super chatting, I'm going to stay live. Okay? I think that's fair. Do you think that the Raiders will draft a quarterback in any round? I would be very shocked if they did in the first round. I really would. I think the only quarterback that they actually get in the first round is a Jordan Love at pick 19. I've seen some mocks where Justin Herbert has fallen to 12. I still don't see them making that move. For me, the most likely quarterback that the Raiders draft, I'll say actually top 2. I know they like Jacob Eason. He's got a big arm out of Washington. I think that's more of a round 3. And I've been against it, but I'm going to say that I'm starting to come around to it a little bit. If you can get him in round 4, it's Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is at least a quarterback where you let him sit behind Derek Carr, and then maybe you put like 10, 11, 12 plays in the playbook for him, and then see where it goes. I will say this, though. I think Jalen Hurts gets thrown out the window if the Raiders go out and sign Marcus Mariota, because that rumor is very, very real. Let's go to Gun Mop. What up, Gun Mop? Bring back Burfict. He held down the defense, and he is a great linebacker. But yes, absolutely go out and try to get Littleton. So I do think Vontaze Burfict's a good linebacker. I don't think anybody watching the show would disagree. And I know the Raiders think very, very highly of him. It's why they gave him the C. The issue with Vontaze Burfict is one more bad hit, and he's done. He's out probably for his entire career. I mean, yes, the helmet-to-helmet hit, I think was a coin flip. You could look at it both ways. But that was a 12-game suspension. The NFL, I would actually say this. The NFL is kind of against the Raiders and Vontaze Burfict. So you know what? How about this t-shirt? Because I think it's perfect for Vontaze Burfict. Raiders against the world. If you guys want to be repping your team, if you want to rep this t-shirt, chatsports.com/RaidersWorld. If you have already bought in this t-shirt, I want you to slide in my DMs at Mitchell Renz 365. Send me a picture of you wearing it. Anybody that buys this t-shirt, I'm putting you on the show. Sound good? You just got to slide in the DMs at Mitchell Renz 365. Only $24.99. Chatsports.com/Raiders sale. I'll put it in the description. We got another super chat from Air Condition Raider Nation. Get a picture. I'd keep Compton for depth. So I would be okay with them keeping Will Compton, but everyone that I talk to, everyone that I respect in the industry, it kind of looks like they're going to move on from Will Compton. Now, I will say they're at least going to let Compton test the free agency waters. That doesn't necessarily mean anybody's going to sign him, so maybe if he tests the free agency waters, nobody wants him, and then he can come back for a cheaper deal, that I think is a little bit more likely than the Raiders re-signing Will Compton right now. Let's go to another super chat, and remember, you can use hashtag Raiders, or they told me if we keep getting super chats, I'll stay live. I will be doing another show on our main channel, chatsports.com, youtube.com/chatsportstv. I swear I work for this company around NFL Daily, but they said, Mitch, if Raider Nation wants you to keep doing the show, you got to keep sending super chats. So, do you think Whitehead would have taken a pay cut to stay for depth? Also, what linebacker do you want if you were in Mayock's shoes? Well, I think Mayock's shoes are a little bit nicer than mine right now. That dude gets paid a lot more than I do. Do I think that Whitehead would have taken a pay cut to stay for depth? I think the Raiders asked Whitehead to take a pay cut. I mean, I think the conversation goes, hey, Tahir, do you want to stay on the team? If yes, then you got to take a little bit of a pay cut. We're trying to do something special here. We need you to take a little bit less money. Whitehead was probably like, I've had 4 straight seasons of over 100 tackles. I'm a captain. I don't feel like I need to do that. And then Mayock and Gruden were like, okay, best of luck to you. Now, just because we cut him, that doesn't mean we can't bring him back. Like, if Whitehead's cap is really, really high or if he's looking for a lot of money, I don't think a lot of teams will offer it to him, especially in today's NFL. I've said it 100 times. You're not going to be able to do it if you can't cover. Again, the Raiders, they cut Tahir Whitehead if you're living underneath a rock. So we got another super chat. Kenny, what up, my dude? Appreciate you. When will Max come to the show? So I talked to Max about a week and a half ago. Once he comes back down here to Dallas, we're going to try our best to get him on the show. We might be able to do a show with him out in Vegas. We're still talking on the details of some of that stuff. But the reason why Max couldn't come on the show the last time, he was getting ready to fly in, and then the Raiders were like, nah, you ain't going anywhere. We're going to change our name from the Oakland Raiders to the Las Vegas Raiders. But yes, Max will be on the show soon. He follows me on Twitter. We talk a lot on Instagram, follow each other there. So I promise he will be on the show. So I want you guys to subscribe to the Raiders Report. Right now is the best time of the year for the show because it's when we have the most breaking news. It's when we have the most instant reaction to stuff, and it's the #1 show that you should subscribe to if you bleed silver and black. So turn on the notifications, click the big red button that says subscribe, and if you can't click or find the button, I want you to go to youtube.com/Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.